What's happening, guys? Welcome back to Dynamo DeFi. My name is Patrick, and on this channel I talk about cryptocurrency, decentralized finance, and economics. Today's video is about Avalanche. The AVAX token has been going crazy the past week, skyrocketing from under $20, from a bottom of around $9, from under $20, all the way up to almost $42 as the time I'm making this video. If you're not familiar, what Avalanche is basically what you might call a layer 0 protocol that has multiple chains, one of which is the Avalanche C chain, which is Ethereum compatible. And what's special about the Avalanche version of their Ethereum virtual machine is that Avalanche is completely decentralized, but they've managed to keep the fees around the level of Binance Smart Chain, so often $1 to $2 to make a transaction, and they're making some updates to the protocol this week that allegedly will drop the fees by about 60 to 70%. And the way they do that is that the founder of Avalanche is a professor at Cornell, and he came up with this novel consensus mechanism that allows various nodes to come to a consensus more efficiently. So that is the Avalanche network, and tech is great, but that's not actually the reason that they're taking off this week. First reason is they came out with their Avalanche Bridge. So if you go to bridge.avax.network, this is a Bridge Avalanche launch, I think sometime in the past week, maybe the week before. And basically this lets you bridge various Ethereum assets like 1inch, Aave, BAT seamlessly over from Ethereum to Avalanche. I haven't used it myself, but I hear that it's quite quick and the fees are pretty minimal. By the way, in order to do any of these things, you will first need to connect your MetaMask to the Avalanche network. I have a separate video on how to do that and how to deposit AVAX tokens into it. So I'll drop a link in the description, but you'll have to do that before you do any of these things. So the first thing they did was the Avalanche Bridge. And the second thing was the Avalanche Foundation announced a $180 million DeFi incentive program. And on top of that, Aave and Curve, I think probably the two biggest, or certainly two of the biggest DeFi applications, will be going cross-chain to the Avalanche network. And Aave especially is very picky with which networks they go to. Right now they're only on Polygon and Ethereum. So the fact that they'll also be on Avalanche is pretty enormous for this network. And basically what this is that Aave will have $20 million of AVAX allocated to it. Curve will have $7 million of AVAX allocated to it. And these are to incentivize people to provide liquidity and use these platforms. And you might think about this, so this might, some people might not like this, but I would say you could probably almost think about this with this bridge that's working well, and then Avalanche is providing incentives for people to switch and move their Ethereum assets over to Avalanche. You could almost think of this as a vampire attack, a cross-chain vampire attack that Avalanche is launching on the Ethereum network to bring liquidity over from Ethereum to the Avalanche DeFi ecosystem. And let's see if it's working. So AvaScan, which is the explorer for Avalanche, posted this morning that since this bridge launched, over $240 million have been brought over from Ethereum. Pretty enormous. And it was just $100 million a couple days ago. So these are large quantities of money that are being transferred over to the Avalanche network. And to hop over to another dashboard, you can see that the total value locked in Avalanche DeFi applications was $400 million 2 days ago. It is now over $1 billion. And a few weeks ago, it was sitting around $200 million. I remember I was farming Avalanche back then, and I was looking at it compared to other chains, and it was like 15th, 20th, or something. It was just in the doldrums of chains that don't get a lot of use, and all of a sudden, it's one of the major chains. So that's pretty exciting. That's why Avalanche has been growing, and then in today's video, what I'll do is I'll show you all of the essential tools that you'll need in order to start yield farming on the Avalanche application. So tools to do research, tools to swap your coins on Avalanche, an auto compounder that you can use to track all your farms and to compound them more efficiently, and then finally a money market. And I'll put timestamps down below, so if you want to skip to one of these, then feel free to do so. First resource that we're going to use, we are already on, that is marker.io, markr.io. This is your go-to resource for all sorts of research Avalanche related. You can see they have sections for pools, so you can look at different liquidity pools, applications, which we're on now, tokens, they have a beta swap feature, and then they even have a feature to track specific wallets. Taking a quick look down here, we can see all of the top applications on Avalanche by TVL and how that's changed over the past day. Hopping over to pools, you can see a similar thing here. Let's sort by TVL. These are all of the top pools across various AMMs on Avalanche, and you can see, for example, PNG, which we'll look at next, is the main AMM on Avalanche. Their pool with AVAX has an APY of over 100% right now. And a lot of these pools, I think I mentioned this already, but it reminds me a lot of where BSC was in, say, January, where this has just been over 100% for months now. So the infrastructure is there, and people are yield farming, but it's only just the past week really started to get the attention that it deserves. And you can see there's a lot of great pools on here. There's some like AVAX Link, Aave AVAX, so you can even do some more conservative pools pairing AVAX with various Ethereum tokens. And while you can sort by APY here, I think Marker is actually not great for that, because you can see they include a lot of pools that are basically not being used anymore. This only has $40 in it, so it gets kind of crowded. I'll show you another tool in a couple of minutes to sort by APY. Final thing you might want to do in here is look at tokens. So you can see the top gainers in 24 hours. I don't know if I'd recommend buying the top gainers in 24 hours, but if you're interested in seeing them and getting an idea of what might pump next, then you can do so here. Pretty neat. Next tool that you will need on the Avalanche network is Pangolin Swap. So Pangolin Swap is the main AMM on Avalanche. By far has the most volume and TVL. And so Pangolin, basically you can swap between AVAX and various tokens. So first option down here is Avalanche DeFi token. So this is going to be where you get all of your Avalanche network gems. Second option here, so I don't love how this UI is, but it is what it is. You can switch to AVAX ETH tokens, and then this is where you see all of the bridge tokens from Ethereum. So maybe you have some Aave that you want to bring over here, you can do so. You can even bring Ethereum over itself. Maybe you want to bring that over and convert some to AVAX. Since it's an AMM, of course, you can also pool liquidity, and this will work pretty much the same as any other AMM you may have used on another network. That's Pangolin Swap, and you'll need that to get some of these coins that we'll use for yield farming. Next tool, and I think Avalanche Network does this extremely well with Yield Yak, is Yield Yak, which is an auto-compounder. So this is very sleek design, and basically what this lets you do is you might be farming on multiple AMMs, and if you're farming on Pangolin, then your rewards will be in Pangolin's PNG token. And rather than having to claim the rewards, convert them back into the tokens that you're farming, and redeposit liquidity, Yield Yak takes care of all that for you. So pretty nice, easy way to get yield farming quickly and not have to worry about claiming all sorts of rewards and looking at different platforms. What you would do is you would just pool your liquidity over here on Pangolin Swap, and then rather than depositing it on Pangolin, you'd bring it over to Yield Yak and click this deposit button to deposit it here. And one nice feature they have also is that if you click on Visit Farm here, it actually brings you to a page to add liquidity for that pair. Like I said, this site really has their user experience down. So here you can see all the farms they have. Right now it's sorted by TVL. They also have their own Yak token. I think right now it's around $5,000, but there's only 10,000 of them. So you can do the math, but that's pretty commensurate with their TVL. This is the place where I would sort by APY. So you can see here, if you sort by APY, some of them, usually new farms they added don't have an APY yet just because there's not much money in them. But some of them you can see like Joe USDT, Joe AVAX, Link USDT. I mean, wow, Link in a stablecoin right now, you could be getting 1600% APY. I mean, that's just unheard of. That's pretty much 5% per day. For a coin that's a blue chip, pretty much safe. Same thing for USDT and AVAX. 900% on AVAX BTC. So lots of great things here, but you can see some of these are on these various other AMMs, Trader Joe, Baguette, etc. And rather than having to manage it on all these different exchanges, you just pull it on the exchange, bring it over to Yield Yak, and then you can see all your farms in one place. And there's actually a button here that you could filter to just your farms. That's Yield Yak. I think this is probably one of the best tools they have on the Avalanche system. Final thing we're going to look at is the money market. So a lot of people like to do DeFi with money that they've borrowed. So maybe they want to buy some AVAX, deposit it, and then borrow against it, and then put that money into some of these yield farms we're looking at. Well, BenQi, or maybe it's pronounced BenQi, I'm not sure, launched just the past week, and they allow you to do that. So you can see here that if you were to deposit AVAX, you could receive 40% of the value of your AVAX as a loan. And actually, I think with other assets like Ethereum, they allow more. So yeah, so Ethereum allows 60%. But the really cool thing about this is that because of that Avalanche Rush program that I mentioned before, and because of BenQi distributing their Qi token, you actually get paid to borrow. So rather than paying interest, you're actually getting interest. So a little bit extra yield on top of everything you're getting from your yield farms. Pretty nice. So that is all that I have today. Hopefully this is enough for you to get started yield farming if you're not familiar with the Avalanche Network. Let me know what you think down below. Are you going to use any of these tools? Are there any other tools or strategies that you're planning on using in the Avalanche Network? And do you think that AVAX is still a good buy? And by the way, before you go, Twitter, PatSco77, that's my Twitter username. I post a lot of analysis there before I make a video about it. I've been posting about AVAX and Luna for 3 or 4 months now. And I also post a lot of charts and those sorts of analysis that never actually makes it to a video. So if you want to get the latest updates, be sure to follow me there. That's all for today. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Until next time, this is Dynamo DeFi.